first question of the day. The internet was calling Shaunie Henderson, aka O'Neal, a 304 and a gold digger, for saying she never loved Shaq, and that her last child, they were saying that her last child must have turned 18, therefore now she's using Shaq for money again. She wrote a book. Did y'all hear about that?
Mm-mm.
You heard, Kai?
Mm-mm.
Alright. I said, I know that lady did not tell the world that she did not love that man. So upon investigation, I found out that she actually said, looking back, I don't know that I ever really loved the man, but I was in love with the idea of being married to the man I had a family with. I was in love with the idea of building a life together. So, in my opinion, I think if you ask most married people, they probably gonna say something similar to that. And then to add on the fact that when you have kids, like that kind of changes how you move in the world. So, what y'all think? Like, do y'all think that she used Shaq? Shaq had a big name. And there's another story going around that she was actually married to somebody else, and Shaq was like, "Yeah, I want you," and she left.
Interesting.
So do y'all think she used Shaq, or you think this was just a realization of looking back over my life? I don't know that I really loved him. I just wanted a family.
I don't know. I don't know where to begin with this, because if you were quote unquote married to someone else, you could have had a family there. So I guess that leans more towards the using than, because me personally, I don't know how you can say I don't think I love that person, but I love the idea of having that person as the father of my children, that person as part of my family, but not love that person. For me, I can't put those two together. That I never could. And people do it all day,
right?
But I personally can't.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I think it's easy to fall in love with the idea of
somebody.
Yeah, because like I said, especially if you got kids, because you may go into a situation, we just whatever, and then, as I hate to say this, but as women do, now we gotta have a family, especially depending on how you was brought up. She said her parents was married for 54 years until her dad passed. So I can't speak on what her mindset was going into the relationship, but being in something and then fantasizing, which takes you to a next step, and now you got a kid. What? She didn't have a kid. Well, no, I don't know if that her oldest is.
His or not.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
No, not Shaq. The man before Shaq. Because I was gonna say because she didn't have a kid, but she came with a kid. So
but you could.
Yeah.
But then that whole fantasy could be done with the person before. If this was just a fantasy, so it had to be the lifestyle is what I'm pulling from this.
Yeah.
Because if you were in love with being with the father of your children, then you would have stayed with the first father of your child. That's my thought. If that was the fantasy.
Right.
But the second one came with a lot more money, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, she wasn't. I wouldn't say they was. Yeah, he had more money, but like the dude allegedly he's a record executive, so she wasn't lacking for money. Now, it's kind of the same situation she in now. We talking who's a bigger star, because her current husband is not as he's cool. He's a well-known pastor, but he ain't Shaq.
Oh, she went.
Yeah.
Avenues.
So what you think, Simone?
I agree.
You agree with what? You could fall in love with the fantasy?
Yes, and not the person.
Why you think that?
Because I've done it.
Well, you should have known. It's an experience.
I've done it.
So tell us about that.
Oh, that much excitement?
It's not exciting. It's just, it's sick. You just, I don't know. I idea of that person, but as you get to know them, that's all it is. I just
Right.
like the idea of them.
So
It's nothing more.
do you stay in it longer because you're trying to still hold this ideal?
I did.
So is this is something that you made up in your mind? Like, what was you thinking? He could be a good father. Like, how did you get to that point?
It was just things that he was doing in the beginning
Yeah.
that as time went on, he wasn't doing before. Then the argument started, and I was like, yeah, I think I just like the idea
Right.
of him versus what he is now because I can't stand him. Makes
So-
me sick.
So, for an example, like if he was giving you flowers every day or weekly, he was like, I think I could get used to this.
Mhm.
So now I'm thinking ahead. I'm like, I could get flowers for the rest of my life. So I'm still looking for that person that gave me the flowers. It's kind of like with one of K. Michelle's songs. She was like, "What happened to the guy that stood out in the rain with the flowers? Like, where did that guy go?" Like,
You got sick.
I'm crying. In the moment.
You got sick. I'm mad at both of y'all.
He was out in the elements.
Anyway, so yeah, I could understand it. I don't know that. It's kind of hard. Like her case is not looking good. Like, cause I mean, she popped them babies out, fam.
Mhm.
And I thought they was together for a while. They was only there for like 7 years.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's like, kind of like she had a mission going in.
She had an idea that she would be with a famous basketball player for the rest of her life.
I don't know,
But wasn't she really short and he was really tall?
yeah. And then I remember like they did an interview and he was like saying he was ugly. She was like, "Don't say that." Like I thought like she really liked him. But I guess it was
She
just...
still don't want him to talk bad about himself.